Welcome to the Ladies' Room, where politics meets women's issues, and we're not here to sugarcoat anything. We're diving headfirst into the stories that matter to women, from Washington power plays to battles over our basic rights. It's bold, it's unapologetic, and yeah, it's going to get messy. Because let's face it, the fight for equality always is. Grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's get into it. This is the Ladies' Room.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, friends.
It's like I've been gone a minute. I'm back.
How's it going, everybody? Yeah, the whole gang is here.
Yay, finally, right?
So welcome to the Ladies' Room. I'm Allison, the Mighty Librarian, and introduce yourselves.
I'm Deidre, aka Disco D. How's everybody doing out there?
And Vagabondia will come back in a second. So we got some stuffs to talk about. We didn't think of like one topic that really fit the mood. So we're gonna kind of gloss over a lot. There was a lot this week. It was a lot. And and it's the week isn't even over completely. Yeah. So there's still tomorrow, and you know how Fridays go. So we're gonna first go over Biden. He gave his farewell address yesterday. Deidre, you were really kind of moved by it, weren't you?
I mean, I was very moved by it. I was. But I'm like, the things that he did, he gave us a warning. But I wish he would have said some of those things a while back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, man, we could have used that speech like a long time ago. But no, but right. I really was. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, oh my God, it's just, but I'm going to give him his props because I'm going to tell you, he did do a lot of stuff, and it may not show right now, but like he said, the seeds are planted. I mean, I don't know what to say because I just kind of felt really bad too. I felt awful. Like, I was just like, this should not be happening right now.
Right. We're in a I felt we were like in a bizarro world.
Yeah, yes, and it's like I'm mad at everybody. Like I'm mad that, Merrick Garland and all these people didn't do their damn job. I'm like, oh, it's very frustrating because now here we are. But yeah. I'm not taking anything away from Biden because Biden, I know that he's had a lot to deal with, and I know that he is a very stand-up man, and he wanted to respect the presidency and the office, and he didn't want to overstep his bounds. And I totally, get that, and I respect him for that. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I think he done good. He's far from a perfect.
No, I mean,
presidency.
No one's perfect.
He'll definitely have some stains on his legacy, but I think with what he came in with,
what he was handed,
and like I think over time he will be remembered. I think we're too close in history to really truly appreciate a lot of what he did. There's a lot to be angry with that, but I wanted to oh, go ahead. I didn't.
No, I was just saying. It's just there's a lot to be angry about, and I'm not putting the blame all on, the president either. So
it's a tough job.
It's a tough job. And I wouldn't want to do
Uh-huh.
it. I wouldn't want to be able to be in that position.
I don't like people enough.
Especially now. No, exactly. Because, and also, I mean, I would have not have kept my temper in check
Mm-mm.
as many
Oh
times
yeah,
as,
no.
I'd have been like, that's a tough job to have to sit there and take the criticism.
And no,
And
I
it's
don't think
just,
anybody takes it well.
no, I mean, how do you, like, I got to give the guy credit because that man has been through so much through his life. And
Yeah, I will say that.
he always comes out positive. I mean, he did give us a warning, but he's always positive about things, even though there's all these tragedies have happened, but yet he's always like I admire him for that because my goodness, I wish I could be that.
Well, he
I
could have
really
gone out
connected.
scorched earth.
He should have.
Yeah,
I think
he
he
should have.
should like
I do too because I'm like, dude, what do you got to lose, man? What do you have to
Mm-hmm.
lose? Nothing.
Supreme Court says I'm immune, so
Yep.
let's go.
So I'm like, you want to do this? Let's do this because especially after all the crap he said about his son and all this other, like I'm done playing around. I would have been like, all right, nobody's above the
I would
law.
have
I'm sorry.
I
And
would have
now,
kept it real about why he pardoned Hunter. Like people, all right, MAGA's gonna be pissed if he sneezes the wrong direction.
mhm,
But like, for people on the left who like had this, oh my god, he pardoned his son. Yeah, he did. Because if Joe Biden had lost to Mitt Romney, John McCain, George W., you know what? He wouldn't. I promise you, he would not have pardoned his son. But Donald Trump was swearing up and down the wazoo that he was going to put Hunter in Gitmo, and I'm sorry, I would have done the exact same thing, but I would have called myself on it. Be like, if I was turning over power to anybody else but him, I don't know if he's serious. I'm concerned he will put me and my family in Gitmo. You want people to take it seriously? Say you're concerned about it at a bare minimum. Because if the president of the United States is concerned, maybe people will take it like a little more seriously. But I digress. But the pearl clutchers on that, get over yourself. Come on.
I mean, it's the same thing that people are crying because Michelle Obama's not going to the inauguration. I'm like, Trump didn't show up to Biden's inauguration, so what's the difference?
Yeah. Do you honestly
Where was the outrage
expect
then?
her? Yeah. Where
I
was
wouldn't
the
go
outrage
either.
when Trump didn't even show up? So like, please spare me the details.
Yeah.
Spare me
I'm like,
the nonsense of Michelle's not. You don't even care about Michelle Obama. You just wanted her there so you could make fun of her for something.
mhm,
Whatever.
yeah.
I wanted to play a clip of the part that was like most unnerving, and because I know quite a few people haven't seen it. Yeah, and I really think it's important. It's very omnipresent, not omnipresent. That's not what ominous of Eisenhower's farewell address when he was warning, and Biden nods to Eisenhower. Eisenhower's fear of the military industrial complex gaining way too much power, and his fears came to fruition.
Yep.
Obviously, but he warns against the tech bros. He doesn't say tech bro. He should have said tech bros. But I would have paid money to.
I couldn't remember what he called it. Was it like did he call it technical? The tech, something like that.
Yeah, that's why. That's kind of why I wanted to play the clip, so I'm not mincing. I'm not like.
I kind of knew what he meant when he said that. I'm like, oh, he's talking about.
Yeah, And I think
I kind of wish he'd
he
called them by
nodded.
name. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
He, you know, I won't say what he should have. There, I said it. He should have.
Yeah.
Why
I
is
would have
this
loved for him to
not?
call out Elon in particular. That would have just cracked me up.
Mm-hmm.
Technical problems. Trying to get the correct setting. There we go. Okay, let's try this one more time. Maybe not. Okay, well, while I try to figure out why this is not working, we'll keep talking about okay, I can't make it share. I think it's because shit's just acting wonky.
Cynthia said Biden should have called Elon a dancing dipshit. And I'm like, hell yeah.
The dancing dipshit.
He is a dancing
This is most unfortunate. All right, I'm looking at the transcript. The concentration of technology, power, and wealth, as this is a flawed transcript from YouTube. So the farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then, and I quote, for the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well as Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabled in the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling and are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable to protect our children and our families. And the very democracy from the abuse of power. Meanwhile, okay, sorry, it's a really flawed. It's particularly bad, the transcript, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
Since I can't share it. So yeah, very ominous. I really wish we could play it because in case you didn't hear it,
Because I don't know.
I'll get the link.
People, MJ kind of makes a good point too. I'm like, did you think MAGA or anybody watch that speech?
Yeah, they watched that clip. I promise you that, because they had to make fun of it and talk shit.
Yeah.
Like they knew that much at least.
Yeah, because I'm like, come on, because a lot of people don't even listen to what the politicians are saying. Actually, what's coming out of their mouths. You know what I'm saying? Lately,
Right.
it's just whatever so and so says. Because they needed to hear
everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. We can do what we want. There's nothing to see here. We're all good. And it's like,
yeah, he had an opportunity. He called out social media not doing fact checking. He had an opportunity right then to call out Zuckerberg, and he had an opportunity to go after all those people by name, which I know that they would have considered it, a personal attack and been all up in arms, but nothing stops Trump from doing personal attacks. So why can't he?
Yeah. They love it when Trump does it, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should have gone all dark
very
brain.
true.
It would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very, very true.
And be like,
that'd be awesome. Put on the shades and start in.
Yeah, that's funny. Put that as he should be like, I always thought that somebody should have invented this merch. I think Terp told me that it's not possible to do this, but I swear somebody knows how to. The dark Brandon, the glass, like it was like it warms up and like the
Oh, the
dark
cup.
Brandon's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a regular and then it heats up.
Yeah. Well, for the dank Brandon, remember, I think Tony, or was it Tony that came up with the dank Brandon? But anyway, they should have made the red eyes go green for dank Brandon.
Yeah.
Somebody should have done that.
Dude, I would totally
But
need
apparently
nail
it's not possible to do that for whatever reason. I know somebody can though. There's somebody smart who knows how to do that.
I'd be like, yeah.
Motherfucker.
How about that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, how many years has he served? And this is what I get? Damn.
Yeah, he could have been like, who's senile now?
Yeah. By now.
Fuck y'all.
Your mama says you're ugly. Hey, I don't know.
I mean, seriously, it's not like Trump is any cooler. He's about as cool as your grandpa.
Yeah. My grandpa was way cooler than him. Anyway,
my grandpa was he at least served when he got drafted.
That dude's just.
He at least served.
I'm like, oh my God, I am so tired. Really like, I'm so tired of hearing that man's name and his voice, and I'm like, great now.
Oh, I can't.
I'm just like,
I
can't do it.
Yeah, speaking
every
of the
morning, waking up to his unhingedness.
I'm like, no.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. Malcolm Nance has a really great idea. I'll put it out there in the Ethernet of information. Don't watch the inauguration at all. Don't watch clips of it till like 3 days later. Because our eyeballs is what the media, like, if all of us are watching it, it adds to the media. Oh, we got to cover Trump.
The biggest crowd in history.
No, you won't.
I remember the last time, I mean, immediately. He had to say he had a bigger crowd than Obama.
He said he had more people than the first black president being inaugurated. Get out of here.
I'm like, dude, you just got in office and you're already telling a big, huge ass lie. Wow, that was quick.
My intention is the only version of the inauguration I will watch is Saturday Night Live's parody of it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Maybe in a week I'll listen to clips because I'll probably have to use one for a video or something, but that's about it. I refuse to watch it live. I'm not watching it. I'm turning off my social media, except for YouTube, because I gotta watch.
But isn't it also Martin Luther King Day as well, right? Correct.
It is.
Yes, it's also National Day of Service, or is that 9/11? No, it's National Day of Service.
I think so.
I think, yeah. I'm not. Either way, you should serve who you can, where you can.
Yeah.
If somebody needs something, you help them out. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch news on purpose all week. I might cheat and watch, like, if Tony plays a clip on his podcast, I'll cheat that way. Or maybe I'll read a headline, like, how, like, or at least on my phone, I have focus settings, so it gives me like a morning summary of shit that I had sent to the focus, to not ding. So I'll cheat on the news headlines that are on that. But that's about it. I can't bring myself to do it. I cannot.
I'm not doing it. I'm watching the crap. I'm not.
1 second of it. Like, I cannot. I can't believe it happened.
God.
Oh God.
They'll say the carnage like it did last time. Everybody was looking at him like, I remember George Bush looking at him like, what the? What? Even George Bush's
inauguration.
Yeah.
The first inauguration, I had off. Maybe it fell on MLK Day. I was home and I was playing. I remember this vividly for some reason, but I was playing Toon Blast. Go to your app store and look it up. It's you match. It's kind of like Candy Crush, but like less annoying. And anyway, so I'm just kind of like, it's on in the background, and so it comes up, and my husband and I are watching. I'm like, how bad could it really be? I mean, there's lots of people around him that like. And then,
Oh,
like, not
Allison,
like 2
never
seconds
ask how
later,
bad can it be.
Yeah, because
the
I knew
the
it was gonna
American
be bad.
Carnage line came up, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Everybody-
okay. Like 2 seconds,
Look.
like the timing was perfect.
What's
Like,
up?
excuse me.
Oh, by the way, I just read an article that they're expecting within the next 24 to 48 months to see the bird flu progressing to possibly pandemic levels. It won't be as transmissible as COVID, but it might be more dangerous. And I'm like, great. Let's do lockdown times 2.
I heard it was only a couple of and this was like a legit source. I don't remember where, but it was a doctor talking.
Mhm.
Like it was a legit like program I was watching, but I don't remember what. And they said that it was like 2 to 4 mutations from like being person to person, because right now it's
Yeah.
just bird to person. Like if I think you can get it from, even if the eggs are cooked, because if it wasn't killed in cooking, then they wouldn't be destroying all those chickens, right?
I don't know, but it sounds like I'm going vegetarian.
Why they got chickens? Damn it.
I'm here going. I just heard the word pandemic and what, and
Yeah,
I'm already lost. I'm
Cynthia
like,
read the same. Yeah, Cynthia must have read the same thing we did, because she said 2 mutations away from person to person.
yeah.
They do think that when it goes person to person, that'll be less transmissible than COVID, but it could still potentially, because you know how people be and how gross they are and how they cough all over each other, that it could not respect personal space.
Yeah, and heaven forbid.
God, I don't want to have the mask debate again. Oh, come on.
I mean, I
And
do
actually,
like
I do want
PTSD.
people to be legal. I do want people to legally be required to stay 6 feet away from me. And I would love an excuse not to leave my house for an extended period of time. But I don't want people dying as a result. And I don't want people getting incredibly sick and having lasting effects and all of that madness. So let's not do that.
I remember in the very, very beginnings of COVID, it was like in so beginning, I didn't have masks. I used a bandana as a mask because,
Mhm.
like you couldn't get like, I mean, you couldn't get those. Like, so I just put like a makeshift mask around on, and I'm like checking out at Publix, and this girl and her boyfriend, like if it was normal times, I would have been like, had the same she's like, I'm like swiping my card, girlfriend is like right here, like right there, all up, like, and I'm just like, whoa, and I audibly said whoa, and she's like, oh sorry, like 6 feet, and I'm just like, dude, try at least 2 feet, like in normal time. Like, what is wrong with you? Like right on top of me.
I know. I remember going home to my small town and wearing a mask, and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. And I had like a little cloth mask, and I'm like, because
up here, just after the lockdowns ended, I went into a local sandwich shop wearing a mask, and I'd ordered takeout, not a single mask in that room. The second I opened the door and they saw my mask, everybody went silent and stared at me. I have not been back to that place since.
I know, I'm not.
What's the big, you know what, like, people have been wearing, like, cancer patients, like, there was one guy at church who wore a mask because he had cancer.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
before, I'm talking
still,
before
yeah.
COVID.
But there
Like-
are some people that I still see that I know that are probably must be going through treatments or stuff, because they are going out with their mask because I'm sure they're trying to, keep from getting sick with anything. So
Yeah. And at the time, we were still taking care of Derek's mom, who had COPD and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I didn't want to take a chance on giving her something.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
And I have a friend whose daughter has some breathing problems, so they've been homeschooling and masking since before COVID, and now she's like, I can't trust the world because people look at
are
us like
such
we're crazy
assholes.
when we've been doing this all along. My child has lung problems. She has
Mm-hmm.
breathing difficulties.
Yeah.
Good
Um,
gracious. Have some courtesy for
what
others.
is wild, is, the church, when I was still going to, I was more than going to church during COVID. I was the reason why it was being streamed to everyone else who was home. Now, like this was like very beginning when they like said, try to keep services like as low key. So our pastor took it seriously. And, we just had a skeleton crew of people streaming it, and lots of people watched it at home. The same people who were all masks don't work at church, same people that seem to stay home. Like, oh, you it's not that serious, but you're staying home. Why aren't you coming to church? Because I mean, they could have come.
Yeah.
He did put like, he made seats. We didn't have pews. He made the chairs like further apart. Like, he wasn't irresponsible like some of these other D-bag pastors. But I'll never forget this one when the school board meetings and people were like losing their minds over masks on kids, which I don't know what planet these people are from. Kids are fucking disgusting.
Planet
They
stupid.
touch everything and sneeze and cough and then touch and then and touch and like and my daughter's school gave everybody a lanyard, and you clipped your mask there, and during lunch you let your mask hang, and you ate, and and it was, kids are still talking, but it minimizes the risk a little, like nothing's ever going to be 100%, but like I saw this debate on school board debate on TV, and this dude was like, masks don't work, keep the mask in operating rooms because germs know if you're in a classroom or the OR. That's my question to anybody who says masks don't work. Oh, so they don't work? Do you really want your surgeon not wearing a mask since they don't work?
Do you want it to be like in Victorian times where they thought it was really cool to walk around in bloody aprons and stuff and cutting. That's why people didn't want to go to the hospital then, because they knew they were more likely to die if they went to the hospital because nothing was clean, nothing was sterilized, nothing. I'm like, hilarious.
We actually understand germ theory now.
Yeah, like washing your hands and sterilizing shit and wearing masks.
Oh my gosh,
Science.
you guys remember in the early days of COVID when we were having the hand washing conversations, like people had never learned how to wash their freaking hands? And you're like, seriously?
Do we have to go over shapes?
Insane.
That was like my first thought. Like, like, at the library, we put these funny, this is before shutdown, then after, when we put these signs in the bathroom, like, if you read this entire song, and it would be like a pop song, your hands are now properly washed.
Yeah, my Apple. My Apple Watch would count down the 20. But it knew when I was washing my hands or whatever. That was kind of cool.
So speaking of germ theory, our soon-to-be Secretary of Defense. I wish I could play some of the clip I had
that was
perfect.
But
he does not believe in germ theory. So how do you get sick then? Do the sick fairies come and like bless you? Like, boom, you get a virus and it goes all Oprah? Like, how does he think this works? Like, I fully believe he does believe in germ theory. He just says that to look cool, which is really sad that he's trying to impress a bunch of weirdos by saying, I don't wash my hands. I will never shake that dude's hand, like, ever.
No.
Ever.
Yeah, not the flex she thinks it is, bro.
And let me tell you, people think it's weird in America because people can see through. Do you know why we need to see through? Because we need to know who's not washing their hands. Okay, especially at work. Because I used to work with people, and we would do potlucks and stuff. You knew whose stuff you weren't eating if they brought something because they didn't wash their damn hands after they went to the bathroom. And I'm telling you, let everybody know this person does not wash their hands, so don't eat whatever they bring.
Nasty.
I kind of want a siren I want a siren to go off in front of a public bathroom that said, did not wash hands, did not wash hands. Cynthia says that RFK Jr. doesn't believe in germ theory either, and he could be in charge of the CDC and everything else. That is
I'm like,
horrifying.
really? I mean, that was a big discovery.
He does.
Germs.
It's all a grift. It's all.
He is such
How
a
do you
grift.
not believe in germs? I'm going to give you all watching a little tip from my class for free. So, I teach. You know what? This is another topic. I teach information literacy, and one of the first things I teach about is different biases and how that plays such a strong factor in spreading misinformation, disinformation. And I give this one in particular because it's kind of a funny story, but it was also relevant for the COVID time. And it's called the Semmelweis effect. And Dr. whatever his first name is, I can't pronounce it, Semmelweis, was an OBGYN in like the late 1800s, turn of the century. And he wanted to reduce maternal
mortality.
Thank you. Maternal and infant mortality rates, because they were so high around that time. So he had a theory about germs, but germ theory hadn't been like established yet. He had this theory that like, they were transferring stuff between their hands. So he's made this like solution, which would eventually become soap, hand sanitizer, that kind of thing. It was really harsh on the hand. I think it was like part lye, part like,
yeah,
it was really
probably harsh.
It probably took the first layer of skin off, was it? But so basically he invented washing your hands with soap and water before doing something like helping a woman give birth. Well, anyway, he discovered that by doing that, mother and infant mortality rates plummeted at his teaching hospital. So he published his findings, and he was ridiculed at the time, absolutely ridiculed. He was fired, and it said that he ended up in an asylum. It ruined his career publishing.
Oh my gosh.
And other doctors of the time said, gentlemen do not have germs on their hands.
Yeah,
some said it was his Catholic.
Everybody, let me tell you, everybody had freaking, everybody in that era had damn freaking VDs in that area because everybody sleep around and bring it home. Everybody has syphilis and shit. I'm like, come on. Even the well-to-do people.
So then I think it was about 15 years later, germ theory is established. And, I don't think he lived to see vindication, but I tell that story to make his name live on. And because it's a good example of biases, like, well, it's not really a bias. It's more of an effect of a bias. When, change, nobody likes change, and things that aren't, established for the time often scare people, and they'll automatically reject it. So anyway, so I tell that story because it seems so obvious to us now. And students are like, what? Ew. Like, you should see it, like when I taught the class face to face, like you could see their like it was really funny. Yeah. So but yeah, so we want to go back to bacteria, and you want to live like the 1800s, you're going to die like they did in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And
but the 1800s they want is where men had all the power, landowners had all the power, women were birthing machines, and et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera. So speaking of getting sick, I also wanted to talk about, I was looking for something to watch. I watch a lot of YouTube because we don't have cable, and there's usually we find something on YouTube to watch, and we subscribe to Netflix and Hulu, and if a show is on Stars, we get a couple a month of Stars. I'm a big Outlander fan. Anyway, I digress. So Sicko by Michael Moore was on, and he made it free on YouTube. And I really recommend you watch it because it was released in 2007. No, it was released in 2008, right as Obama was getting elected. And it's before Obamacare. So like it really reminds you, I mean, we know the health insurance industry is just awful right now. But before Obamacare, like I really wish I could get these clips to play, because like one woman, she was really young. She was in her 20s, and she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. The health insurance company told her, "You don't have cervical cancer. You're too young." And it's like
because that's how disease works.
Because that's how disease works. And then one woman, she got, I think it was another cancer patient. And the insurance companies were looking for a reason not to pay out. And they said that she didn't disclose a yeast infection and they ruled that as a pre-existing condition. I really recommend you watch it because it's really not only, and Michael Moore.
I don't think my blood pressure can take it.
No.
Michael Moore takes a group of 9/11 responders to Guantanamo Bay and they all get treatment in Cuba. Like really, this one woman has lung issues and her inhalers here cost about $200 a pop. 5 cents in Cuba. 5 cents. And they're like, say what you will about Michael Moore and his politics. His politics are a little left for me, but like, say what you will, he points out a lot of like the awful flaws. And so there was this one older gentleman who lost his family farm because of medical bills. And the 2000 and and he said something that I've been saying, that you can only step on the necks of people for so long that people just snap. He's like, I'm not advocating for that, and I would never do that, but I can see how people can go that far. It's just one thing after another, and so I really recommend you watch. It's free on YouTube, and it not only reminds you of the way things used to be, but it also was like, it's kind of like 20 years later, here we are, or almost 20 years later, here's where we are, and we're really not any better off. And he also goes to England, France, Canada, and talks like about their healthcare systems, and like they tell us all lies. Like it's just so awful. These insurance companies tell us such lies, and it's HMO plans were like really designed during the Nixon administration. He has a clip of Nixon talking about how to an insurance CEO, how he can make so much money. It's less care. You're going to advocate for less care, and you're going to maximize your profits. And we can't get off that tit. Like, when are we going to realize that Reagan tainted the idea of socialized healthcare? Well, yeah, he did that. That was a trick question. He did taint everything, but like, when are we gonna realize that they're lying to us so that they can make money? Like
people complain about it, but I'm like, well, that's what you want.
And making a few billions isn't enough for them. They got to make more billions, and it's just wild. So that's my little rant. Watch Sicko. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was then, and then MJ makes a good point too, because I remember back before, we had the ACA talking about your screenings and, all of that, that wasn't always like now. I mean, Will Woman visit is usually free. Don't even have, you know what I'm saying? Like but I remember you had to pay big time copays, or for every little thing that you did, it didn't matter,
And they still
And
make
bench
billions.
press,
And it's
because
not
I've
enough.
been having to get mammograms since I was in my 30s, because I had a biopsy done in my 30s. So, yeah.
And good job, MAGA. Lose the ACA. MJ is right. We're back in 2007.
Yep.
Well, and hopping on my soapbox, and they're also going after Planned Parenthood, which for many inner city women, particularly women of
Yeah.
color, it's their only source of medical care, including those well woman exams. It's
Yeah.
not just abortion related. Um, it's not just maternity related. A
I
lot of
mean,
it is just breast exams and your basic pap smear.
back in the day when I was poor but I was working, but they weren't offering insurance, that's where I would go to get my Will Woman
Mhm.
stuff, your birth control, what, that's where I'd go, because I didn't have insurance.
And yeah, if they take away, like, what I don't understand is with preventative care, they end up saving a lot more money
Yeah.
than, like,
I think they
if
hope
you
that
can.
they drain you and you die before they actually have to pay for the treatments that could have saved your life. So they can go on to the next person and collect insurance premiums from them.
hmm
Because after paying all the premiums, I mean, I know that my health insurance has gone up. I think it was 11% it went up last year, and mine is through the county, and it's God, it's 15,000 a year for my medical insurance. I probably go to the doctor twice a year just to refill my prescriptions, and if they require me to, do a booby smash or blood work or whatever. And no way I spend $15,000 a
I'll be
year
right back.
at
I'm
all.
sorry. I'll be right
But
back.
they
Okay.
still charge me my copay and my deductible every time. Like just basic blood work because I'm 45 cost me $150 plus my copay on top of the 11, 12,000 a year or more that they spend on my insurance. So there's tons of people like me when I've had this sinus thing now since August. I still haven't seen the doctor, A, because she's never open and has an appointment, and B, because I don't want to have to pay for all the crap that she's going to order because it's going to be another $200 for them to be like, yeah, you've got inflammation in your sinuses. So maybe what I really
Right.
have is something terrible, but who knows? And I think that's when I worked in housing, it was mostly elderly disabled, and we'd have so many people, they had had symptoms for so long, but they were so terrified of the medical bills, even though they had Medicaid or Medicare or whatever insurance, that they would just let it go. And by the time they were finally diagnosed, it was just too late. There was no treatment available.
Um,
It's terrifying.
if they have a bill to repeal the insulin being capped at $35.
Yes, what the F, man? What is that about? What,
And
why in the world?
I
And those pharmaceutical companies make plenty of profit for their shareholders. Plenty.
yeah, it's like, how many more billions do you need? Like, and I'm not saying I don't want people to get wealthy and be rich, but like there comes a point that you're like, when you're getting that wealthy off of fucking people over and killing
It's
people,
blood money.
it's
Yeah.
blood money. And how many more billions of blood money do you need? Like,
When I
how
heard
do you
someone
live
make the
with
argument about
yourself?
insulin, they're like, well, it's your lifestyle choices that made you need insulin. I'm not diabetic
No.
myself, and it's like, no, what about childhood diabetes, type 1 diabetes?
hmm
Or, my dad's diabetes was caused by exposure to Agent Orange. He didn't choose that. What the
My
fuck?
dad and my brother had diabetes, and they're both skinny.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
And
just
like,
sometimes your body craps
It's
out. Certain parts of it do.
it could be
You,
genetic.
yeah, you still deserve to live. Come
hmm
on.
and you know what? Like, they're full of shit. You want to know why? Because insulin at $35 is still like
Too much.
2 or 3,000% above what it
Hmm.
actually is. I think a vial of insulin in Canada costs like $12, $15. in
Yeah.
Freaking
England,
EpiPens.
Yeah,
Remember the
those are.
EpiPen thing?
I still have EpiPens stashed. They're probably out of date, but we kept them because they're
Hmm.
expensive.
It's ridiculous. My friend has
yeah,
very severe allergy to
Yeah.
bee stings, and
So,
they're like
mhm,
$2,000,
yeah.
and it's not something you take regularly. So once she uses one, she has to get a refill, and insurance kept telling her, "We can't refill it. You're not due for a refill." And she's like, "I didn't ask to get stung by a bee.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?"
so like
Ridiculous.
if it probably costs only a few dollars. Let's just say it costs
It doesn't,
$2
yeah.
to
They said it
make,
costs so little to make that.
and it costs so little to make. Like, so at $2, you charge how many Americans? $35 a month for that little. You're already. I don't. Somebody do the math. I can't do that kind of math in my head, and I don't have a calculator. But like that is got to be at least 3,000, 4,000% markup. So it's
Mhm.
really just greed is what they
Yeah.
want. Like, just keep it real. While they're starting to be honest about things, like just be honest. You want people to make as much money as they can, because you know people have to have that insulin. And maybe if you made the food supply less awful, maybe
People
maybe
have
just
to,
maybe.
people are rationing their insulin
Yep.
or not, or it's just, it's very
It's
frustrating
like,
because
how
I went,
dare you?
yeah,
How dare you?
yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
you have no business talking about people's lifestyles, what they do or don't do. You know what? Maybe if we didn't have to work at least 2 jobs to like get by, we'd have
To go
time
afford
to go
crap
to the
food.
gym
Was
and
it yesterday
exercise.
that they finally banned that red dye? I forget what in
Hmm.
that red. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
but it
like,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
too
oh,
long
think
ago. And it's
yeah,
been
it was like,
illegal in other countries for ages.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's tons of
It's,
shit in our
yeah.
food that would never
hmm
fly in Europe.
Oh yeah, Europe doesn't have. Yeah, they can't.
Hmm.
People come over here and
Well,
go,
even yeah,
look at
even
all the
Canada. If you
cereal you
buy
got.
what was the yeah, it was a cereal. Like if you buy it in
Mhm.
Canada and then if you buy it in New York right across the border and you look at the ingredients labels, worlds apart.
Mhm.
Theirs is
Yeah.
literally, wheat and
And
sugar and
apparently,
milk, and
apparently
us
they
is
put
like 15 other
more
shit.
sugar in our bread because it's a preservative than other places do. So
No,
when,
dude, no. That's because they
They don't
subsidize
call our
corn
bread
growers and
bread.
they're using corn syrup.
and I'm like,
They
oh,
don't in Germany, they don't call our
Hmm.
bread bread.
It's cake.
Our bread is like toast, I think is what they call it. They only buy it when they're making toast. When you say bread, they're going to give you bread, like
yeah.
actual bread.
Like, give me some
Um,
sourdough. Like I love sourdough
and
bread. Give me
our
some of that.
bread is entirely too sweet. And it is entirely too sweet because when I went to Europe, I had this bread that I'm expecting it to taste one way. It was delicious, but I was expecting it to taste.
Mhm.
So when you don't, you're what you're expecting to taste isn't the reality. Like it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, because even when I went to
Yeah,
like London and I drank they had a Dr. Pepper over there, and like, ugh, yuck. Yeah, it didn't even taste like Dr. Pepper. Didn't even taste like Dr. Pepper. I don't even know what the hell it tasted like. The only thing that tasted halfway like it should was Coca-Cola.
yeah. Coca-Cola is pretty
That was it.
standard
Every
everywhere.
place else, like, don't get the Dr. Pepper because it does not taste like that. That is not Dr. Pepper.
Well, and we know that sugar is highly, highly addictive and our
Yes.
bodies will crave it. Yeah, yeah, same. And we're all hooked on it because it's in
Yeah.
everything. And they hide it in corn syrup and a million other things, all in our food. So it's no wonder we have high risks of heart disease and diabetes and all these other things because of the crap we're eating. I had a friend, her grandmother used to call white bread sweet bread, and she called regular milk sweet milk because they only did their own, fresh ground bread, and then they drink buttermilk. It
Hmm.
always cracked me up. But after I tried hers, I was like, you're right, it does taste like sugar
My
personally.
grandparents would drink buttermilk, but I never, I mean, I didn't like drinking it.
It's not for me.
Well, I mean, you can make your own, like with vinegar or lemon juice. I'm like, like it's fine if you're making stuff with buttermilk because you know you do, but I'm not sitting there and drinking.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't drink a
acceptable.
glass of milk anyway because it makes me want to throw up. Just like
I'm not-
drinking a
yeah,
glass
I'm
of
not-
milk. I am not a
I
milk
don't drink
person.
milk either.
Like drink it, like I'll
I'm
eat
not
it
a
and
milk
stuff, but I'm
person.
not going to sit there and drink a glass of crap and milk. No.
The only time I'm consuming milk is I'm having cereal
Yes.
on the rare occasion, or I have Oreos.
Mhm.
That's it. Like a cookie.
Yep.
Any other time,
I'm
I
like-
don't. Ugh.
I know my mom and them said, "Oh, we were growing up, we
texture
would
thing.
glass of milk.
crave
Oh.
it." I'm like, "Ugh, no," and I don't even like to smell milk. Like if people go, "Is this bad?" I'm like, "Don't have me to smell it because I'm just going to tell you that it doesn't smell right to me anyway. It just it won't." So you need to ask somebody who likes milk because I'm like, mm-mm.
I
Yeah.
do not like milk. Oh, my husband will drink these tall, gross glasses of ugh. And you know,
Oh, my brother would pick up the gallon. He could
Yeah,
drown. When he was
I
a
mean,
teenager,
yeah.
he could down a gallon of milk in one go. Not for me.
And I think
But the food-
since I was a preemie mom, my mom had to put me on powdered milk. The doctor wouldn't let her put me on cow's milk, and I often wonder if that had something to do with why I didn't
Well,
like milk.
genetically, most humans do not have the gene turns off after you're a baby once you're a certain age for being able to tolerate milk. And at some point, many humans developed a mutation that left the gene on so they could still tolerate milk. But a lot of us still can't. Like I'm still,
Mhm.
but I never liked it. So that helped. I was thinking that the food and the pharmaceutical, so pharmaceutical in particular, they always argue that they need to charge the high prices to make up for the cost of research, which, yes, you spend a ton of money in research. However, a lot of that money was government grants, A, and B, you made up the damn money.
Mhm.
So I don't care. And C, why in the world are we putting life-saving medications? Why are we putting a profit value on them versus a human life? And we're doing the same thing with our food industry. It's not about producing a quality product that's affordable for people. It's about how much profit they can make, and then they give it back to the politicians on both.
We're the only
both of
place
those
on the planet that
industries.
has commercials for prescription medication. Ask your
Exactly.
doctor about that.
Mhm. It's more valuable to them for us to be sick. They
Yeah.
don't need us healthy. They need us sick and relying on their crap.
There's one TikToker who I couldn't remember her name, but she's got a pretty good following. She was telling about how her friend was talking to an Alabama senator a couple years, probably longer than that. Not the current ones, who she wanted to have MS, like make gains on MS. And he said, "Oh, I'm just going to be honest with you. That's not going to happen. The insurance, the healthcare companies, they make a fortune in the treatment." And it's like, oh, they have no interest in curing.
No, they don't want it. If they cure you, you're a one-time customer.
Yeah.
They need you to be dependent on them again and again and again.
And like, there's nothing left to research about insulin. Insulin is insulin. Like,
it works.
The guys that made it sold it for like what, $1? The patent for the for $1.
And then someone else made a fortune off of it. I don't know how you can sleep at night knowing that your fortune and lifestyle is based on the death and suffering of others.
Yeah, like cancer treatment. I mean,
exactly.
We don't even have enough funding for them to even continue even doing research on women's reproductive health, like, cervical cancer and all of that stuff.
Oh, God
and
forbid.
all these, I'm like, hello, that's you probably know that's going to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was within our grandmother's lifetimes that you didn't have female problems. You were just hysterical and you needed a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're hitting almost I can't believe time went by this fast. I also wanted to touch on some of the confirmation hearings, and I'm angry AF at some of the Democratic questioning. particularly with Pete Hegseth. First of all, when you protest and like get like there were like 4 or 5 protesters during his hearing. All it did was make his job easier. Like, because he just, but anyway, so they kept asking him, you know, about his feelings on women in combat roles, women in the military.
I was like,
What do you think he's going to say? Why
so
don't you ask him?
gross.
Well, 2 months ago, you said that, like, what changed your mind in 2 months? Are you going to change your mind again in 2 months? Like, why are we, you know, these issues are so important to like women and LGBTQ. Why are you fucking up the questioning? Like,
what
I
was
appreciate
the word
Tammy.
he kept using? What was it? Warrior or something? What the fuck is that? I was like, why are you using that phrase?
Oh yeah, what was that?
You know what I'm talking
It was
about?
so
I'm like,
annoying.
yeah,
what is that?
meritocracy.
Meritocracy, yeah. Warrior meritocracy.
That was,
I was like, what the fuck is that?
he made it up.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I'm so manly.
Well,
I'm like, just stop it.
And just taking the words apart, that just says, I'm good at playing warrior, therefore
Yeah,
I deserve it.
yeah.
Bitch, no, you don't.
I'm a
No, you don't.
man. Only my man
Exactly.
can do this. Look at my gun. Look at the gun show.
Like,
You know,
they
that
should have
kind of.
asked him questions that made him look wholly unqualified.
Well, and that's why I
Yeah.
appreciate Tammy Duckworth. She actually asked him, you know, what nations are part of this alliance? And can you, you know, how many and can you name them? And he was like, and she was like, you need to know these things to do
Yeah,
this
and he's
job.
like,
You're
he
not
goes, well, I
qualified.
wrote something on it. Well, if you wrote something on it, you would know the answer, wouldn't you?
Exactly. Yeah, focusing on how he's not qualified is so important because him being a terrible human being, look who our incoming president is.
Nobody
Sorry,
cares.
not going to work.
He's like,
It's not
Nobody
going to
cares.
work.
They already know he's a terrible human being. He
Jesus
like it.
Warrior
saying,
ethos. It was warrior ethos.
yeah, that one. I'm like, what
Warrior
the hell is this?
ethos. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
surprised I didn't
it
write
was the
that down.
ethos. I was like, what?
Warrior ethos. You don't say.
I'm like,
Warrior
is this Gladiator? Are we in like Odyssey?
And
What's going on?
And the whole Jesus conversion thing, like, so when was your conversion? At what point, did you hit the road to Damascus? Like, you know, where was your conversion? You know?
Oh my God. And what was with Mark Wayne Mullins? Dude, you just made
He's
such
the
a
one who tried to
douchebag.
fight the president of the UAW. Or was it the
Mhm.
UAW?
Hurts.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
One of the unions.
Cynthia goes, war ethos is bro culture bullshit.
Word. It's like the new alpha and beta, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like,
Basically.
Speaking of
Yeah.
alphas, that dude, why are names escape? I mean, I know I'm bad with names. Andrew Tate. He's looking rough.
he should look rough.
He looks beat. Like,
well, he's been scared. So scared because the women came after him.
No way, no, not to me, no women.
He wants to run for Great Britain's prime minister, and he spelled Britain wrong.
I saw that. Who was it? Somebody in our own spelled military wrong.
Oh yeah. They were like, trying to be like military, and it's like
you can't even spell it. Could you use it in a sentence, please? Sorry, I'm just like, come on.
Did you guys see where the sign was misspelled? That is just like,
yeah.
That's what we were.
I know the geek in me was so happy. Nobody
said anything.
Your staffers hate you, sir. Your staffers absolutely hate you.
Your
they did not catch
staffers
that.
hate you. The print shop hates you too.
They were probably laughing.
Yeah, both of them. Either one of them would have caught that if they were paying any attention at all, because everybody else noticed it right away.
If your print shop likes you, they would have called and been like, "Dude,
they would have spelled it correctly."
You sure about that?
Sure.
But then again, print shops get busy, and they might have just weren't even like looking at next one. So.
But his
Who
staffers
knows?
should have noticed it. Whoever put it together. When they made it, I'm assuming they made it on a computer. Did it not have spell check?
You know what? My Canva, when I make things on Canva, it's really hard to see the squiggle line and sometimes it doesn't show up because when you do graphics, so there is a little, but still, if you're gonna, here's the thing: if you're gonna go all bro culture or go all Billy Badass, if you're gonna go Billy Badass in front of the country,
can you at least
you
know how
gotta
to
make
spell it?
sure that you spell everything correctly.
Yeah.
Because you can be an asshole, but you can't be a dumbass. Then your assholicness is canceled. Kind of like you can't do illegal things and be an asshole either. Because
I'm
if
a
you're an
man.
asshole while doing
Yeah.
illegal things, people are gonna find what they're gonna out you. But if you're nice to people, they're not always gonna be looking. You're a nice guy. Why would they be digging for shit?
Chipmunk Milk says, "Ode to that print shop patriot." And then
we need to buy that person a coffee.
But and reading it out loud won't do Amy's comment justice.
I know. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and the good point in the chat, Amanda said, Chipmunk Milk said that Mark Wayne basically said we're all drunks all the time, so it's fine. And we've all cheated on our wives.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I was like, I was waiting for somebody to go, I like whiskey, kind of like that dude said, I like beer,
He was like, I'd be in jail. I think he said something like, I'd be in prison if it weren't for my wife. And we were all
I was like,
well, wait a damn second. What are we talking about?
My wife saved me. What the?
How many of us have cheated on our wives? And I was just like, ooh, your wife is going to be asking you.
When you get home, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, and also, listen, can we talk to your wife? Because I think, I don't think she's a good leadership because clearly she can't tell a dumbass when she sees one, but maybe she'd be more equipped to do this job than you are. She sounds like a better human being.
Honestly, I think they focused a little too much. Like they should have gotten together and be like, all right, you're asking about the wife. You're asking about the cheating. You're asking about the drug. Like it just looks so Hail Mary and so desperate.
Well, I think if the first person had come on and been like, so you're a serial cheater, multiple stories of you being a drunk asshole, you're a bad human being. We agree? Yeah, okay, great. And then the next person come on and be like, and you're not qualified for this job, and here's how. And then
and he met with all the Republicans. He met with all the Republicans before, and he did not meet with one Democrat.
Shocking.
And yes, chipmunk milk.
Chipmunk gross.
I'm telling you, some of these people, their wives are getting something somewhere because how do you marry somebody who has I guess his wife must be a Christian nationalist because how do you marry somebody with a white nationalist cross? It's on his chest. It's not like a tiny thing. It is huge. No. I could it. I don't care if he's the nicest guy in the world. As soon as he takes his shirt off and I'm seeing a Nazi cross, or I'm just like, I'm sorry.
We got problems.
Yeah, we got a problem. Do you know what that means before you put it on your,
Yeah. I just thought it looked
Tammy
cool.
Duckworth is a badass. Because she lost multiple limbs. She knows warrior ethos.
Did you guys listen to Cliff's Edge today? He was talking about Tammy, and he was talking about that a lot of the old school or the old white ball sacks basically need to step down and let some of the emerging leaders move up in leadership. And then he referred to Tammy Duckworth as one of the up and comers, and I'm like,
she's been there for a while.
Yeah. Whoa.
But she's not 80 or 87 or in her 90s, like whatever Chuck Grass.
Fair enough.
I guess, right. I guess 50 is the new 80. But come on, can we please or the new 20? But there's some young people that we should be grooming for leadership. But there's a lot of middle-aged people who have been doing the work who deserve to move up in leadership, and you haven't allowed them to.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
your
not
old
okay.
asses won't
Nancy.
leave. Go home. Go home.
Exactly.
Go home. Go
Or
home.
like Nancy Pelosi like falls down in the hospital, and she's like making calls to make sure that Connolly is, beating out AOC. Like, dude.
Yeah. And honestly, Pelosi and
Y'all know my
Connolly
feelings on that.
and Graham and all of them, you did your service. Some of
Yeah.
you better than others, but go retire.
Go.
We have let some new ideas in there, some new
We need some
leadership
new
in
guard
there.
shit, okay? We're tired of the old guard shit. We need some
Absolutely.
new guard shit, okay? We're done.
Exactly.
Go retire.
Yeah,
Go spend some time with your damn family. How about that? Or something.
stop trying to.
Life's short. So go. You've
He's
already
stage
done your
4
thing.
esophageal cancer. And I'm not saying if you have cancer, you can't.
Yeah, I
But,
know,
like,
but I'm like,
come
go.
on. Like,
And who's letting Mitch McConnell come walk around up there? I feel bad. I'm like, you let this family lets him go up there and just wander around.
That
I
poor
think
man
Nancy
glitches
really
out
tarnished
so
That's
hard.
embarrassing. I would not want that for myself. I would want somebody to tell me, you know what? Maybe because I would be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to be
I
that
think
way, but I'm
Nancy-
like, I'd be embarrassed.
I think Nancy really tarnished her legacy by her antics with Biden.
Yes.
With AOC.
Yeah, they did.
It's
When
like
she
you
said
don't
she
know
was
the
handing over
electorate.
leadership. Yeah, when she said she was handing over the leadership to Jamal, shit, I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries. When she said she was handing it off to him, she should have handed it off, and then she should have left, because she's like a shadow over his shoulder, weighing him down, and that is not good.
Yeah, that's and she's a force to be reckoned with, to be in the shadow. I mean, even if she didn't say anything, like, I'm sure she's like trying to micromanage. Chuck Grassley, Cynthia made this comment.
Jesus.
He said he already filed for re-election. He'll be like 95.
Who does he think he is? Strom Thurmond?
He already filed.
I'm like, what's up at home that you don't want to go and just like retire?
Dude, Amy makes a good point. It's like a TV show past its prime. Like,
yeah,
you're into season 5, and you should have ended after season 3. Just go
and
away.
Yeah. If you have to watch any of that stuff and the questioning, I'm embarrassed for America. I'm like, God, this is awful. Like, this is just
very
awful.
cringy. It's very cringe. You know what's really cringy? SNL did a skit on this. This is several years back, or when they had it was that Facebook whistleblower talking about Instagram, and listening to Ted Cruz, Dianne Feinstein, and Chuck Grassley ask questions about the internet, like just about the internet. Like, I remember one time Mark Zuckerberg was getting grilled by Chuck Grassley about, something, and you could see the look on his face, like him wanting to, like, that's not how it works. Like, they're asking,
ladies,
like, I wish I had.
Do you remember that Facebook commercial of the old ladies, and one of them showing pictures of her vacation, and she's putting them, literally taping them on her wall in her living room, and she's like, look, they're on my wall. And the one lady comments, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. That lives rent-free in my mind 24/7 since 2016.
And they speak so confidently too. Like they learned a word, meme. And SNL makes fun of Ted Cruz. He's like, actually, it's pronounced mame.
Yeah. I'm like, oh God. Ooh. I know.
Alito compared TikTok to a t-shirt.
Yeah. I'm like, sir, you have no idea what TikTok is, do you?
Oh God.
What do you guys think about the idea of Mr. Beast buying TikTok?
I like it. I like it way more. I like it way more than Elon or Mark Zuckerberg or I think Trump's first Secretary of the Treasury. I can't think of his name. Mnuchin, something like. Or Kevin O'Leary was talking about buying it. Mr. Beast, he's been silenced by Elon. I'm cool with it. If a billionaire's got to buy it, he's one that I'm
At least it's him.
behind.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that. At least we know he, in theory, is on the side of the creators, since that's how he got his fame. Whereas they were always there to exploit the creators.
Yeah. And he might, be a selfish little bastard like the rest of them, but it's like, okay, I canceled Amazon Prime and went with Walmart Plus, because if I'm going to give my $100 for a membership, I'm going to give it to the least assholic billionaire, and Walmart is just way, way less asshole. Doesn't mean they're like, these like,
right. Because I was thinking about that too. I'm like, well, which billionaire do we buy from? Walmart? Do we go to Amazon?
Yeah.
I mean,
and since they ran off all the mom and pops, we don't have the choice of, for
yeah,
the most part, supporting anyone else.
Yeah.
Ooh, Amy says her youngest used to like Mr. Beast, but now she calls him a pedo.
Yeah. No, it's not him. I think somebody he was collaborating
with. Was he in trouble? Was Mr. Beast
got in trouble
over
for kids, like, kids.
What was that honey thing that they were something?
Oh, honey.
Yeah, because they
get
in trouble. Okay.
No, that's not. Well, yes, honey is in trouble because and Legal Eagle does a really good explanation of what they did. But basically, an influencer would get sponsored to promote honey. I used to love honey.
Yeah.
Before it got like all weird. But so an influencer would be sponsored by honey. They do their commercial and it said, join using Ladies Room 10 and you get like 10%, you get something for whatever the code was. So that code is essentially a cookie that tracks, gives you credit for bringing that person the honey. And depending on what their agreement was, let's say they were supposed to get 10% of the sale if they bought something from the store or whatever it was. They were essentially deleting that the influencer led them to honey and not paying them any like finder fees, essentially like a finder fee. So it was real shady. And they were knowingly and deliberately doing it. And they did this to lots of creators, lots and lots and lots of creators. So Legal Eagle filed a class action lawsuit against honey to recoup some of this and it seems like I'm not a lawyer, but I know a lot about law and like what you need to win a civil suit. It looks like it's fairly solid, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. They usually take at least a couple of years to work their way through the court. So
seems like every time somebody makes a buck, they find a way to scam other people. It's ridiculous.
Yep, it's really sad. And I used to really, like I said, I used to really love honey. They used to have great coupon codes that would, scan through a bunch of coupon codes to see if they'd work. And I kind of deleted them off my browser before all of this because they were just sucking. And I like Swagbucks and Rakuten a little bit more than them anyway. So, but then when I heard that, I was like, all right, you suck. I'm done. Yeah, Amy, I did too. I deleted the Capital One because it was so annoying. It was such an annoying pop-up. So I'm a big fan of Swagbucks. I've been using them for years, for like probably over 10 years now. And I looked at my summary of how much I've made off of Swag. In the last 11 years, I've made almost $1,500 of random shit, of rebates, quizzes. And that's without even trying. That's just like me using the browser, sometimes taking a quiz, sometimes playing a game, to get Swagbucks. So if you put actual effort into it, you could probably make a good.
If you were like consistent and was selling like stuff all the time, or Whew,
I know I used to use
whatever.
Swagbucks whenever I did Christmas shopping online, and I'd usually every holiday make a couple $100 or I'd save a couple $100, as it were.
I used to, except with the exception of this year, because I was just doing so many other projects to really focus. I used to pay for Christmas with my swag bucks. I'd get gift cards
Mhm.
and I'd be able to pay for most of Christmas. I once was able to buy like $500 worth of swag buck gifts. I got gift cards, I just got Walmart gift cards and was able to buy my daughter a computer. So woo.
That's kind of how S&H green stamps worked back in the day. My grandma saved those
Mhm.
things. Like, my Mimi did. And then we would go over to the S&H green stamp store, and she'd pick out, whatever with all her stamps.
I remember this shows both my age and where I grew up. I remember our Piggly Wiggly still having the green stamps little roll thing right behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm always like, if it's an easy like way to, I also do Ibotta because like you can link
I use
your
Ibotta
debit
a
card.
lot.
There's
And
another one
like
that
you
my
swipe at
cousin
certain
used.
stores
What
and
is the
it'll give you the
receipts? What
credit.
is the receipt thing that you can scan the receipt?
Oh,
Oh, what is it
Receipt
called?
Hog.
Receipt Hog.
Is it that, or is it?
There's a couple of different ones you can do.
Yeah, I
Because
don't know if that's
Ibotta,
it.
you can scan your receipt in Ibotta for some items as well if you don't have your debit
Mm-hmm.
card directly linked to them.
It's amazing that like no, I have terrible credit, so nobody's stealing my identity, but like people try. Like I've had someone hack my Venmo. That's about it. Because if it's convenient or I can save a buck, I'm just like, here's my phone number, here's like debit card.
That is the beauty of shit credit. You're like, take it. What are you going to do? You're not going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Save a buck or two.
So and it was medical debt, and
Ugh.
I had to file for sole custody because my ex-husband's a monster, and it was just life shat on me all at once. So that's why I have bad credit.
Well, Biden signed that executive order so that medical debt would no longer show up on credit reports.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm
I was like,
There's an article about it in the Kaufman Chronicle, which you should check out on Substack.
that's
And you
right.
should also
the
watch
last
the
couple of
Tony Michaels
days
podcast.
Yes, watch the Tony Michaels podcast. I have his link in the
He
description.
has a Substack. Miss Mighty Librarian has a Substack. She writes in.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I have I have two Substacks. One is the Library of Democracy, which is, kind of what we talk about here. Grabbing the link for you. And I also have the Reference Point, which is a little bit more academic. Here's the link coming in for the Library of Democracy. And then the Reference Point is not just about libraries. It's just kind of like my latest article is how to quickly find what's going on in Congress with just a few clicks. So, because you've really got to keep up, especially,
yeah.
I know we're way over time.
I tried, but I'm like,
no, but you can get text alerts sent to you with certain bills. So that's kind of like what the Reference Point is about. So check those out. The Reference Point is completely free because I don't want any conflict of interest with work, giving library work. I work for the state. But if you want to support my work, you can get a paid membership on the Library of Democracy, or if you want to just subscribe for free, that is a-okay too. So if you could subscribe, I'm trying to get to just 1770 subscribers. So if you can subscribe, share it. But June, I want to get to 2,000.
Are always so welcome.
Also, like and subscribe to this YouTube page.
Yeah.
Chipmunk, I'm convinced that there's a meme in what you said about Ameriscam too.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sure she'll have something great.
Yeah.
Like give her an hour of like
She's good. She's good.
lamenting.
Oh yeah.
She's got to
Oh,
like
she just
lament.
pulls them out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm like, girl, you're fast.
Yeah. You say something and she's like, da-da. And you're like, whoa.
It's like magic.
It is magic. She's a mean
It
magician.
is. That's right.
Poof.
Yeah.
There it is.
Look, y'all, I'm real red. I got anxiety because, like, in the middle, my daughter texts me and goes, Mom, I just saw on the Ring app in your neighborhood that there's a suspect on the loose in your neighborhood. So make sure your doors are locked. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? That's why I was like, and then because I went to tell my husband, because of course, I was like, do you know about this? Like, oh hell, and he's like, and then I get a text from Derek, suspect detained. And I'm like, thank God, because I'm about to have an anxiety attack over here. What? I hate it when I get to, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, just Mom, I know you're on a podcast, but there is a suspect on the loose in your neighborhood. I'm like,
yeah, we do not want to witness somebody breaking into your house while we're live on camera.
I'll go over there like,
handle that.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Girl, no. I've seen. My money's on D. She may be small, but she is tough. She's a scrapper.
Oh yeah, no, I have no doubt. It's just like to have to see that, like,
and not be able to do anything, right?
Yeah, it's just like, oh wow, what do we? What do we do?
If they come, they're getting one of these. They're probably going to get this one. Oh gosh.
Well, it is.
Yeah, everybody, lock your doors, lock your windows.
Lock your doors. I was like, what the suspect in our neighborhood right now? What?
I watch too much white girl porn.
I know.
All the crime shows, so I'm just
my mother loved her some ID channel. Oh my God! Every time I was at Mom's, I'm like, can we please watch something else?
I do miss ID TV quite a bit. There was
Do
this
y'all remember
one
HBO?
show.
What was it? The autopsy show with Dr.
Oh yeah.
Was it Dr. Baden or Baden? I don't know how you spell it, man. I love those, and those are true stories. There was one they told about the lake, and my parents lived out there at Possum Kingdom Lake. This little wife cut up her husband. He was huge, and she was tiny. She gave him morphine and killed him, and put him in the trailer and cut him into pieces. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't doubt us. We know.
That's
we know. We
awful.
watch the shows. We know how to do it.
Somebody was out walking their dog. Found the torso.
I screwed up his algorithm for YouTube with my crime shows.
They found the head
every time we're out
the river.
Yeah.
And
every time we're watching a crime show, he and I are like, you're gonna get caught, stupid, bringing your phone with you. You never leave the body that close to a road. What's wrong with you?
I know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's hard to get away with murder. Like, I mean, there's so much. Like, all it takes is like one little mistake, and they can blow the case wide open.
There are 3 reasons why I will never commit crime. 1, I don't have it in me to be evil, to be mean like that. 2, I'm lazy. And I'm not dragging your dead body around. So if I do have to call I'm just calling 911 and being like, listen, I killed somebody, just haul me off. I ain't got time to run. I ain't doing that shit. And 3,
had to die.
Right. And 3, I watch enough crime to know that I cannot get away with it. So
my anxiety couldn't handle it.
No, look at me right now.
My anxiety could not murdering.
Dude, I was coming back from a meeting today, and there was a state trooper behind me for like 3 miles, and I'm not breaking the law at all. But I'm
you're still nervous. I'm like, oh shit, right? Start crying.
He's gonna know that I lied when I was 7. Like
I'm telling him everything. Listen.
Oh, it's gonna be totally like Goonies, where he's like, and one time in 3rd grade. Yeah, that would be me.
And I
Yep. Exactly. That is my personality in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's. I could see myself doing that.
Yep. Sorry, ladies, we're on the rails tonight.
Yeah, it's okay.
We are
It's
at
been a minute.
a lot happened this week, and we needed to debrief and
Yeah, and it is good to
calm down.
laugh and release those endorphins, people.
We hadn't
Come
seen
on, we
Dee in
gotta
a while
get
too, so we had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
give the audience their fill, and
all is
Oh,
well.
the
Got
ninja
the
hands.
daughter. Got the daughter married. They're married. It's all good. So hey, score.
that's got to be a huge
Yes,
relief.
and it
Having
yes,
that.
and everything worked
those
out and it was great.
those kind of events are, beautiful, and I was the maid of honor for a couple of, but it's like once they're married, it's like, oh,
Oh, I gotta relax.
my
Yeah, I'm like,
job's over.
yeah.
We got her married. We can relax.
Yeah, that.
Just the planning and all the stress from that. It's
Yeah.
gotta be nice to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess I worried about a lot of stuff that maybe I shouldn't have worried about, but hey, it all ended up working out, and it was great, and everybody had a good time, so that's all that matters. And the kids were I call them kids because but they were great. They were happy, and they did it their way, and it was great. And everybody had a good
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's great. She deserves a
yeah.
nice, beautiful day without any drama or
Mhm.
BS like that.
So it was lovely.
All
But
right,
yeah,
kids.
thanks for stopping by, everybody, and
Thanks for
listening
stopping
to
by and hanging out.
converse.
We will see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
I am certain we'll have a lot to talk about too. God, it'll be like day 4.
Right. So there's one good thing about Trump 2.0. The comedy is going to be wonderful.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
hopefully we can
it will
find
also be our reality. So it'll be sad, but
But yeah, no.
Bring it, SNL. Come on, you're gonna have to give me some laughing.
Yeah,
to
SNL,
do.
I'm gonna need you for some
we're gonna be leaning heavy.
Yeah, well, everybody have a good night, and I know
Have a
it's
good
Thursday,
night,
and a
great
good weekend.
And
it's good to see
we'll
everybody.
see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, bye, friends.
Take care.